Good morning. Today is January the 28th, 2023. I'm going through some stuff. I know I'm going through some stuff. And yesterday was a pretty productive day as far as getting your ducks in a row, waiting for Monday where I have to really put in a push for what I'm going through, and I will. I'm not trying to be mysterious. I'm just not ready to. There's so much, so much juggling going on that, and so much of it is out of my immediate control. All I can do is sign papers and make inquiries and find out options. So that is the process which I'm going through now. There was an element of it yesterday, and ready for Monday, and fingers crossed that I'll have some hopeful news come Monday, but we'll see on Monday, and then I'll let you guys know. Um, I, to my surprise, my condition today, although I didn't get good sleep last night, with what I'm going through, that doesn't necessarily surprise me. Plus, the amount of energy I expended with the storm and all that kind of stuff, and it's been rough, and it was certainly really rough yesterday. Today, apart from having a really terrible sleep, but I do think that the kind of sleep I had was obviously sufficient because I'm up. But I've been up for it's like 6 o'clock right now, and I've already been up for like 4 hours. I just could not sleep anymore. A lot rattling around up here. We'll see. It's one thing when you have no immediate control over some very important things, lifestyle. It's a bit stressful. That said, I'm actually okay today. There's an element, I'm guessing here, but there's an element of pushing myself. Maybe it was my muscles because I had to use them a lot over the past 2 weeks. Maybe I built up some stamina from it. I'm hoping because I'm not doing the greatest, obviously. Thank God for walkers, and canes. But I'm actually better than I anticipated I would be. I thought yesterday would wipe me out, considering it was very mental the first part of the day. But then I had a surprise invite to go see a movie. And I think I've already told you guys that movies are now a kind of. I thought that they'd be something I can't do because the stress, literally the trauma of just sitting in the chair, especially with what I've told you is going on with my other part of my condition. I thought it was maybe a thing of the past. To my delight, I made it through the movie, and that is actually a big deal for me. Yeah, I needed to get up, I needed to stretch it out and all that, but I was able to absorb the movie, which is, for me, that's a good thing because I'm not, excuse me, there wasn't a lot of, oh, my back, oh, my leg, I'm not feeling my leg, you know what I mean, that kind of thing. I was able to, where I was situated, or, you know what, it was a bit of a high scale or a higher scale theater. The chairs were plush. They were actually really nice. With they had the reclining element to it. They were very comfortable, and I thought maybe it would be uncomfortable for me because I tend to need more firmer stuff to sit on, like, excuse me, to sit on. But I took a chance, and it worked. The movie I saw, and I guess this would be some spoiler alert, although by the stats, not too much of a spoiler alert. Apparently, they cost 25 million to make, and it took in 50 million or 25 million. So broke even, but that's not actually breaking even. You need to actually make double, I think, what you made the movie for it to be considered a break even. That said, the movie was called Plane, which is an interesting title because it's kind of blah to me. It was, But actually, it makes sense. If you watch the movie, you get, oh, I see. And it's actually, wouldn't even the plane wouldn't do it. By the way, that's Plane. It's not plane as in no fuss, no muss. It's a plane, an airplane. It was an interesting movie. One of the reviews which I'd read up, and I didn't do the reviews beforehand. Backtrack a little bit. It was suggested, let's go see a movie. Fine. I knew I was going to push myself to do it. I didn't want a longer film. The big one out there right now would be Avatar 2, but that, for some reason, in reading the reviews of that one, I did enjoy the first one, and I did see it at the theater. But in the reviews of the new one, it just didn't strike me as that interesting for me. I did find the first one interesting because a lot of it was fresh, new, and new techniques and all that kind of stuff. This would be more of the same, so that was okay. And then the storyline. That said, and no offense to any working actors, but I also found the roster not necessarily star billings for me. So there wasn't even that hook, as in, do I really want to see? I can't even think of his name. The lead. It's okay. Like he's okay. Don't get me wrong. Sam. No, I don't even know his name. I'm sorry, but I've seen his movies, or some. Obviously, I saw the first one. So, anyways, for Avatar, there was no star power to draw me to. Okay, so we were looking at the other availabilities. Puss in Boots. I don't know. There was a lot of stuff there that was kind of I don't really know. And then I stumbled onto Plane. And it had an interesting premise. If you don't know the movie, it's basically it's sort of like Airport, and that's maybe one of the reasons I did enjoy the Airport. Yeah, that old that I remember the Airport series from the '70s. You know what I mean? So the first part of the movie is a plane and the drama of a crash landing, but just it's out of the fire, out of the pan into the fire. Now, oops, it takes place in Asia, Philippines, and there's all of a sudden a hostage situation develops, and how to get out of it, and they do. But sorry, spoiler alert, they make it through. It was interesting. I was thoroughly engaged from the very beginning to the very end. As far as the movie itself, it was an action film, obviously, but it wasn't a set piece action film. The reviews were saying, or they was billed as a character study. Pretty light on the character study, but engaging enough film. But just to agree with one of the reviews which I'd read on the film, was it's just this close to being made for streaming or for release on video or DVD kind of thing, right? And it was actually in that caliber. My friend that we went to see the movie with, of course, I had my number in my head. Asked him, "What did you think of it?" He gave it a 7, and that was exactly what I had and was going to give it myself. Anyways, I had a movie night yesterday to top off a very Stressful day, both mental and physical, and it worked. It worked. It was a good evening. Obviously, now I told you about it. Anyways, that's what's going on behind the patch this morning. I will talk to you guys later. Hope you have a good rest of the day.